In other news, senatorial candidate Greco Belhica will file vote-buying raps against presidential candidate Senator Grace Poe and Mar Rojas before the COMELEC. According to Belhica, things must change and that he is tired of corruption and corrupt government officials. Belhica is the chairman of Reform Coalition Philippines, or RCP, which is a political watchdog pushing for the restoration of security features of vote counting machines to be used in this year's elections.
Uncut, our topic tonight is elections 2016, and joining us still are Professor Antonio Contreras, DLSU Manila political science professor, and Elizabeth Angshoko with the Democratic Socialist Women of the Philippines. Mr. Angshoko, Prof, welcome back to our second segment. We ended the first segment talking about these really off-color, politically incorrect to the max statements of Mayor Duterte, talking about how he would rape, how he should have been first in raping this poor dead Australian missionary. Now, and you guys said that apparently a lot of Filipinos even laughed about it, and didn't even take it seriously. Now, why is that? We're supposed to be a Catholic country. We're supposed to be a simpatico country with kind people. What is happening? Tell me. I mean, I'm at a loss.
But we're also full of idols. We like idolizing people. We believe in the messianic complex. We have that. We have that as a people.
The Messiah complex.
The Messiah complex. Remember, after Marcos, we pin our hopes on Cory. We thought that Cory would be the one to create miracles for us. After Cory, we did ERAP, of course FVR and then ERAP, whose line resonated with many of the poor people.
ERAP para sa mahirap. A slogan, tagline.
A slogan.
A brand.
Then, and then after him, we had GMA, and then we had Pinoy, the
Daang Matuwid.
Daang Matuwid, but it's not as simple as that. Pinoy came into the picture as a reluctant candidate. He was not planning to run, but his mom died, and so the people's sympathy, he got it, and then people pushed him to run. Again, we said, we hope that this is the guy who would bring us to where we want to go. And now things are happening, and we're looking at Duterte. Let's just point out that we will not be able to go to where we want to go as a country, as a people, via one person. This is simply wrong. If we want change, then we have to live it. We have to create the change that we want to happen in our lives in our own way. If we want to work with government, then work with government. But certainly, not working with government does not mean that you cannot do things that will change the kind of life people live.
Yes.
I'm just very, disturbed at how we look at one person as the end all.
But it seems to be a cycle, right? You said
exactly.
86, then FDR, he was good. 98, 2010, and now 2016. Prof, what is it about the Filipino that makes us, place our faith in one person?
Because our politics is very personalized. It's about persons. It's about the persona. It's about narratives.
Yeah.
It's not about platforms.
Exactly.
And therefore, we gravitate towards the personality, the Messiah, the narrative of a grieving widow. The narrative of Grace Poe is the daughter of an
FPJ.
icon of FPJ. And Pinoy,
The narrative of this
the
man
narrative
now.
of the son.
Yeah.
And then, so it's not about what they will do to the government. We complain about problems. We are angry about problems. But when we choose, we don't look at what they will do specifically, but we just look at the person, that this person is matapang, simpatico. So I think that's where the Messiah complex comes in, because a Messiah is a savior, is a knight in shining armor. So, so people don't have the energy to read platforms. It's so complicated. They just talk about stories, talk about
Absolutely.
Images.
If you think about it, Estrada, Aquino, and now this guy who could win tomorrow, Mayor Duterte, none of them have really presented the nation with a concrete, specific platform of how to move this country forward.
Well, in fact, Duterte is even saying he's going to copy. He's going to
That
copy.
is his platform.
Mangongopya sa iba.
Mangongopya sa iba.
And maybe,
Rojas,
maybe that's the reason why many businessmen, many elites would like him, because he's a blank template. They can influence
Malleable.
He's malleable. He has the I could say, I don't know whether it's a proper word, because it's positive gravitas to do it because of the personality. But he doesn't have the plan. So it will be filled up. It's filling in the blanks. So that they think that they can.
Some people like that. I mean, some sectors do like that.
Some sectors do
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, but not now. You know, you're already running. You should be ready to govern once elected.
Okay, people are saying in Davao, he's ruled it for almost 3 decades. He's made a success of Davao, blah, 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 blah. What do you guys think about that?
But Davao is different. Davao is a city. Davao, Duterte controlled the council. The vice mayor is his son, or it's family, and the area is smaller. There are fewer political cleavages or social cleavages, ideological struggles. Very muted. But when you go to the national level, there are more players. And I think one of the reasons why we are so simplifying this thing, we're focusing on Duterte, when in fact tomorrow we're going to elect 12 senators. We're going to elect how many representatives? We're going to elect local officials. And these are not going, his empty threats, his threats about closing Congress. Do you think 24 senators will just sit down and relax and allow themselves to be ousted?
Jobless?
Do you think the Supreme Court will allow any breaching of the Constitution? So, and of course we have histories where presidents tried to influence. You had cases, for example, of Noynoy trying to influence during the Corona impeachment.
Yes.
Stories of elites trying to influence the Supreme Court in swaying their decisions. But they are swaying, using some influence, some maybe flowing of money, influence, but not to threaten them that you're going to be closed. So that's a totally different matter.
Do you think he means it? Because, this actually calls into question a lot of people when they hear him say things like this. They can, it's just mind-boggling that someone could actually say this and mean it.
Whether he means it or not, saying these things is not good for us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's the first thing. Davao, if true what you're saying about how peaceful, how crime-free Davao is, that's good. But at the same time, Davao is not the same. Is not alone in this category. We have other places that are doing good. Despite not being controlled by one family or one person. The thing is, if we look at Davao, until now, there are still problems. There are still drugs. And
Absolutely.
some people are actually saying that they have yet to find one big fish that's been caught.
Yes.
And in terms of drug problems.
Okay, let's talk about that. Actually, news reports come out, and we've seen photos of those supposedly liquidated in the name of justice. And these appear to be small fry.
Petty.
Like your petty
Exactly.
sidewalk, street corner drug pusher, or your tricycle driver rapist. But where are the kingpins? Where are the...
Exactly.
Mostly young
Yeah.
people. Mostly.
And that's very dangerous. What if it's your son? What if it's your, excuse me, your daughter or your friend? Without due process, this is simply not done in a civilized world. We have the processes. We have things to do before we can even say that somebody is guilty. You don't just kill people. And his promise of killing us if we do not follow what he wants is dangerous. We are 100 million people. Is he saying that all of us who will not follow him would get killed? I mean, that's for one. Of course, he will not be able to do that. Secondly, if he does that, it's going to be big problem for him as the president.
And for us.
And for us, of course, for us. Any which way I look at this thing, I think we're in for, not very good years ahead.
Right.
Rough.
And that's the reason why many of my friends are telling me, it's just joking. It's not him. It's just a way of saying things. And I said, but I agree with it, that it is something that is not good. You don't make jokes of this, especially if you're running for president. So when do we know that he's joking? When do we know that he's not joking?
Yeah.
So it's very difficult, and he keeps changing his mind. So we don't know today his decision, tomorrow is going to be different.
And
so
nonchalantly,
we need stability. As I've said, the ship of state is sailing in a rough sea. You need a steady hand to steer the ship.
cannon on deck.
Yeah, you need
Yeah.
someone who's going to change his mind every now and then. So I think it's very important to look at that and consider that when we sort of judge him as a candidate, and later on how to deal with him if he wins.
Let's talk about the brand, the Duterte brand, because he's been successfully sold to many people as this simple, incorruptible man, crime buster, clean, all that, blah, blah. So, okay, I'm willing to overlook his cursing, his jokes against it, regardless of how crass and how politically incorrect. I'm willing to accept that. I'm willing to accept he's a wife beater, womanizer, blah, 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 because he's an incorruptible, simple, crime-busting man, righteous man. What do you guys have to say about that?
One, I'm not willing to,
The brand.
Yeah, just brush it under the rug. His wife beating and everything. But at the same time, this brand is a dangerous brand. It's like this brand is a brand that you will not be able to know what will happen next. I am very, very, very troubled by the fact that he can nonchalantly accept that he has accepted what you call these gifts of property and gifts of cars.
He has admitted,
which,
yes.
As a lawyer, I'm sure he knows is illegal. I mean, what is going to happen should we have a president like this? Will all our laws be just disregarded?
What about, Prof, the issue of the supposed secret bank accounts in BPI? What do you have to say about that?
Well, for me, the fact that he sort of flip-flopped, he said it's non-existent, and then later he admitted that it's existent, is a red flag for me. And for me, if you don't really have the amount, why go through these motions of, these theatrics? If I were him, I would just go to the bank and demand that you open and print out my transaction history.
And settle it,
2014.
settle the issue.
I don't need to even execute a waiver. I can go to any bank and request, can I have a bank balance? We do that when we apply for a visa, for example, in the United States, right? They want to show your capacity to travel. So it's very easy. You don't even need a waiver. You don't need to have a legal waiver.
It won't take 7 days.
7 days. All you have to do is, kailangan ko ng transaksyon because may question kasi ng aking kayamanan. Ikaw ang magpakita ka lang ng ID, ikaw ang you're the owner of the account.
At kilala ka.
You know that, then there's no need. It will be, of course, ganito kakapal sigurong print out, but then show it to the press. Yeah. I don't have 211 million. Not as one deposit, not in sum. So for me, that really betrays whether the fact that he probably is hiding something.
Alam niyo, may kasabihin, again, sa Tagalog, I'll go back to Filipino, kung walang tinatagong mali, hindi ka lang magsinungaling.
At saka imagine kung gagalit mo si Trillanes, iba nangako si Trillanes, he will be proven to be telling a lie. He's going to resign from the Senate.
Willing to resign from the Senate.
Then that's going to be the best way to kick him out there.
Yeah, and I think
to end him finally, no?
It was Duterte and Cayetano who first said that they're going to sign waivers.
And they did come up with a dummy, like a dummy waiver,
It's a manifesto.
like a manifesto, like a dummy manifesto. Yeah.
And now Maro has already signed his, Poe already signed his,
also.
and Binay, but where is Duterte's?
So I hope people are, I mean, how come people are apparently...
But you see the problem is we have come to the point where people already decided. Even if no matter whether you roll over, plea with them, they are already said. Many of them will even say that's just, paninira. Hindi totoo yan. I have a friend who said that, paninira lang yung video, nakausap niya si Joma. Sabi ko, tingnan mo, andun nga, tapos sabi niya, edited. Ito yung full tape, oh. But I still don't believe it. It's just paninira. So I said, and these are people, by the way, who have graduate degrees. I tell you. These are not just ordinary graduates. They're ordinary people. These are people who, I have a friend who is very active in human rights advocacy for children, and then he says for Duterte.
Unreal.
My experience is kind of different because in my private talks with people, I've been told that some of them used to be Duterte followers, but now have, shifted sides. Yep. I also am able to speak with, the community people, and this is where you go. This is where you go, to the communities. That's what we lack. We always do social media. I do that too. Yeah. I admit I do that too. But at the same time, if you talk to the people in the communities, they're very hungry for education, for your opinion, for what they can
Ms. Angshoko, hold that thought. We have pause for break because when you come back, we'll pick up from that. What it is like down at the community level and how this affects what is the real score down there. Guys, stick around for more of Elections 2016 when Philippines Uncut returns. Yeah, we'll pick up.